Hello, everybody. What's going on now? I don't know. Let's see if we can stop this. There it is. Hey, how's everybody doing? Pretty good, I hope. Let's see. Are we putting out some sound? We are. We're not putting out any unwanted sound, I hope. Doesn't look like it. That's good. It's always a plus. Let's see. It snowed last night and today. I like some snow. All right, so I always have liked snow. Snow's fun. Even as an adult, snow is fun. But now that I'm an adult and I have responsibilities, I'm good for about 3, maybe 4 good snows. This is a good snow. It's wet, it's sticky, it's laying. You can make, I haven't made one, but you can make a fantastic snowman with this. It's awesome snow. So this is a good snow. It's not like 12 inches deep, not yet. I think it's maybe, maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches, which is a good amount. It, gives those county scraper guys and salt truck operators something to do. So I know they got other things to do, but if you're scraping parking lots and throwing down ice and snow melt for part of your income, then you like to see it. It's coming. It's here. So about 3 or 4, and then I'm done. I'm ready. I'm ready for springtime. And to me, if it never does this, if it just rains or if it gets into the single digits, which it's supposed to do here a couple of days, it just doesn't seem winter without snow. So I thought tonight might be a pretty good idea to see what we could see and understand about snow and the science behind snow. And what I know of it, it's pretty cool. So we're going to look at that and talk about it. And if you're new to the channel and you're just checking it out, hang around. Look at some of the other videos. Give me a chance to grow on you. I mean, every good wart needs a start and then, and blossom. So I'm your wart. Just hold on. Keep an eye on me. See if I can grow on you. So watch some of the other videos. Send me a comment. Like, subscribe if you think you're interested in this kind of stuff. And check out the live show. I mean, I can tell if you come in live, right, on the live show. Maybe not. Sometimes I'll just check out the chat. I don't really check out how many people are viewing it. But anyway, neither here nor there. Come on back for some more. Look for podcasts. I got to put up podcasts. I've been very neglectful about switching these over and making them podcasts. So, the science of snow. And one of the things, and I knew the answer, but I wanted to look at it, is man-made snow. Snow like a ski resort makes. Is that really snow? And we'll look at that too. Because, nature knows what it's doing. It makes some of the best stuff. And when man comes along and thinks, oh, I can do that, it's usually about half butt. Take that crack and split the half off of it, and that's what you get when you get man-made stuff. But it works. Okay? So, but if you've ever skied on real snow and then skied on man-made snow, then you realize it's not the same. It is not the same. We can look at that. There's a thing out. I just did a itty-bitty research. Been running late. Been working on this car. And, it's the way it is. I didn't have a lot of time. So let me get you set up. We'll look at this snow stuff. What is that? I had this thing. I downloaded a piece of software that it monitors. I'm just very curious. I don't know if you were with me last show, and my skipped frames due to encoding lag was just berserk. Went in, it's color coded on the OBS software. That's what I use. Don't know why. StreamYard is such simpler in some ways. Some ways it's not. But anyway, back to OBS. It's colored. So when it gets, right now it's just white, and then it goes to yellow when things are starting to go bad in this one area, and then it bumps it to red and it was red. Well, almost immediately when I started the show, I noticed, boom, there's red lettering across it there. So I downloaded this piece of software that's from MSI, and that's not the graphics card that I have. I have a NVIDIA GeForce, but it monitors. It'll monitor the CPU, it'll monitor the GPU, memories, the voltages, the temperatures, and all that kind of stuff. And I was trying to minimize it, but you can't really minimize it. It's just this thing. It stays a certain size apparently, and it's semi-transparent, so you can kind of see stuff through it. But anyway, I had to move it to the side. Now, get back to what I was originally trying to do here. Oh, and if you're interested, everything right now is A-OK in the frames skipped or frames missed. Average rendering of 30 frames per second. Average time to render frames 9.8 milliseconds. Frames missed due to rendering lag is 0.3%, and skip frames is 0.1%. So, and we're doing 30. Did I mention that? Doing 30 frames per second. I could, I like to look at that stuff, but if you ask me 5 minutes after the show started, hey, what was your frame? I know what my frames per second is, but hey, what was your average time to render frame? I don't know. I like to look at that stuff. I think it's interesting, but it just doesn't stick with me. I know, it's a waste of time. Why bother? It satisfies my urges. That's why. Okie dokie dokie smoky. There's that. Let me get myself out of the way. Myself. There. Got to click on a bunch of little buttons to make me smaller. Wham! There we go. All right. So, I think, I don't know. Let's do this. I've watched some of my other streams to try to keep up with this. See, the problem with this is it looks good, but I can't. I have to go. Where is it? No. I gotta do this. No, I don't. No. What? Does I do that? No. Do that? No. Do that? No. That? No. I don't like it. See, I can't get out of full screen mode. And that means if I can't get out of full screen mode, then I never can switch my stuff. I had it work. I did it before. Computers. What are you gonna do? You can't live without them. You can't live with them. What are you gonna do? Get out of there. Let's hit just escape. Escape don't work. It said hit F11. That crap don't work either. See? That don't, and escape should get me out. Escape don't get me out. Pause break. Ready, break. There's Clell. Wandering in late. Did you ever get in trouble going to school? It's like, hey man, did you know it's snowing? That's why I'm late. That's what you should say. All right, dude. Well, I don't know. Here we're stuck. We are stuck. What is this? Tools. Tools. Tools don't help me. All filters. What's this? Setup. Google. Advanced search. Dark mode. More settings. Nope. The science behind. Let's see this. What's that get me? That didn't get me anything, did it? Oh my gosh. Let's just go here. Open in a new tab. See? I can't go to the new tab. That was stupid, wasn't it? There we go. All right. The science behind snow. Now here's something I didn't really know, is that snowflakes, all snowflakes, have 6 legs. And is it true, do you think, that none of them are alike? But look at them. See? 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom. 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom. 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom. And unless you're not good at math, 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom. 3 at the top, 3 at the bottom, that makes 6 total. Every one of them. All right, so microscopic view of snowflakes by Wilson Bentley. Let's get that up there so you can ponder that. Monthly Weather Review in 1902. How do you think he kept those from thawing out? I mean, the snowflakes tiny, tiny, tiny. How do you think he kept them from? You think he did it outside, or he did it in the freezer, or walk-in freezer, looked at it with the microscope, took a picture of it? Maybe. All right, how are snowflakes formed? Now, here's something I didn't know about snowflakes. A snowflake begins to form when an extremely cold weather droplet freezes onto a pollen or dust particle in the sky. I did not know that. I thought strictly it was just, water crystals. So when you go out there and you think you're going to make a snowball and take your big old bite out of it like it's an apple, like hundreds and thousands of kids do over the course of their lifetime, you're really eating just a bunch of dirt wrapped up in a nice white blanket of snow. That's all there is. What do you mean you never seen any? Look, all of them are different, Clell. You're never going to see another one like this one. Supposedly, they're all different, dude. And if you don't believe me, look at every one of them that falls on the ground. You'll never see another one like it. But if you get some of these flakes now, man, it started out this morning as what I consider cold weather snow. And I'm not a scientist, so I make up this stuff as a kid. All right. So cold weather snow is when it's cold. All right. And the snowflakes are very small, tiny. Then as it gets warmer, and I would say the best snow in my book is like what it was today. Around 34, okay, ground temp, or walk around temperature, not the sky temperature, but walking around temperature, about 34, 36. You get those huge, huge diamond, size of a dime flakes or penny. I don't know, man. They're huge and they float. And they just float down. You could look at those things with your naked eye and see them. I mean, they look like doilies. But that's the best kind. That's the kind of snow that's wet, it's heavy, and it packs really good. If you get you a bunch of that cold weather snow, it's like powder. You try to put it into a snowball and half of it falls out, and you blow it like that, and it just goes everywhere, and it never sticks to your car. That's that snow. You get up in the morning, and it's spit snow, and it's just on your windshield, and you could blow it off with a snow blower. It's just that. It's too cold. In my book, it's too cold to snow. But anyway, snowflakes, pollen, or dust particles. water starts to collect on them, and then it creates an ice crystal. As the ice crystal falls to the ground, water vapor freezes onto the primary crystal, building new crystals, the 6 arms of the snowflakes. That's the short answer. More detailed explanation is this. The ice crystals that make up snowflakes are symmetrical or patterned because they reflect the internal order of the crystal's water molecules as they arrange themselves in predetermined spaces known as crystallization to form a 6-sided. Now it says sided snowflake, but we know there's a top and a bottom side. There's not 6 sides. I like their explanation before, 6 legs, 6 points around it. You know, it's a 6-legged star, something. Ultimately, it is the temperature at which crystals form, and to a lesser extent the humidity of the air, that determines the basic shape of ice crystals. Thus we see long needle light crystals at 23 degrees Fahrenheit and very flat light crystals at 5 degrees. So, I'm not dumb. 23 degrees is warmer than 5 degrees. Like I said, that's 23 and 5, that's the upper atmosphere temperature, not walking around on the ground temperature. But longer needle light crystals at 23, very flat plate light crystals at 5. So, to me, that means 5 degrees, tiny snowflakes. The intricate shape of a single arm of the snowflake is determined by the atmospheric conditions experienced by the entire ice crystal as it falls. So why are no 2 snowflakes exactly the same? Well, here we go. I'll answer your question. Well, that's because individual snowflakes all follow slightly different paths from the sky to the ground and thus encounter slightly different atmospheric conditions along the way. Therefore, they all tend to look unique. I think that's a crock. I just think that some dude doesn't know why. Oh, because they fly in different parts of the atmosphere. You know, that's why. That's got to be why. I think that's a bunch of BS right there. I think it has my mind, it's how the crystal itself is formed. And anyway, maybe that does have some bearing on it, but you're trying to tell me that when it's blizzard snow, that 2 snowflakes don't follow each other down, or they don't go through the same atmosphere? I guess it's, everybody's different, just like every snowflake's different. There you go. That's why we're saying be snow ready. Well, I don't want to be snow ready. I want to be snowed inspired. So that's how it's formed. Now that's kind of I don't know. I guess a basic explanation. I want to know why sometimes it's cold enough to snow, but it rains. That's a question that I've had forever. It's like, but we're dealing with what's happening in the atmosphere, not what's happening on the ground. So that's, I don't know. Now I'm back to this conundrum of how in the devil do I get out of my daggone. I wonder where Robert is tonight. What do you think Robert's doing tonight? I don't know. Alrighty then. You know what I'm going to do? This is what I'm going to do. Can I do this? I can do this. I will do this. What am I doing? I'm making your all's life miserable. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to close the window. I just wanted to exit. Oh, wait a minute. Can I do it here? Nope. 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 All right, close that window. You know, and I closed it. Now what we'll do, see, it went away on my screen. We're going to open up a new one. That's what we're going to do. We're going to open up a new one. Booda boom, bada bing, there it is. Now, I don't know. Now, what did I ask it before? How was snow made? There we go. How is snow made? When tiny ice crystals and clouds stick together to become a snowflake. That's not the same thing that they were telling us. Huh, that's a bunch of BS. How does rain turn into snow? Let's see about that. When the air temperature at the ground is less than 32 degrees Fahrenheit, precipitation begins falling as snow from the clouds. I don't believe that either. I think they're just giving us some kind of junky answer. The science of snow. Is that what we looked at before? Why's my phone blinking in? No, that's something different. That's something different. Well, it was Badinkian, but there ain't nothing on it. National Snow and Ice Data Center. Oh, yeah. This is what I didn't know before. What is this? What is that? Wait a minute. Do I have another phone on me? I do. All right. Oh, no, dude. What's it doing? What is it doing? That can't be right. Okay. Power restored. Power outage. 1 minute ago. Great. Whatever. All right. The science of snow. There's actually a name for it. Wikipedia. What is the name of it? Come on, people. No way out of the bajillion snowflakes that has ever felt that no two are the same. I know, but that's what they say. That no two snowflakes are the same. This is, give me the name. There's a name for it. Snow hydrology or some junk like that, man. I know it is. I read it before. There it is. Snow hydrology. So there is an actual science of snow hydrology. Let's see. What is, what is snow hydrology? Okie dokie. There we go. Snow hydrology is a scientific study in the field of hydrology which focuses on the composition, dispersion, and movement of snow and ice. Studies of snow hydrology predate some dude's name era, although major breakthroughs were not made until the mid-18th century. So hydrological is, I guess, forms of water. So there might be, I don't know, rain hydrology. Man, why do you? A large portion of snow hydrology groups are pursuing new methods for incorporating snow hydrology into distributed models over complex terrain through the theoretical developments, model development, and testing in the field and remote sensing data sets. Snow hydrology is quite complex and involves both mass and energy balance calculations over a time varying snowpack, which is influenced by spatial location in the watershed, interaction with vegetation, and redistribution by winds. Some researchers seek to accurately capture snow dynamics at a point and over a domain as the spatial pattern of snow cover area is readily observable from the remote sensing. Wow. Snow and ice accounts for about 75% of Earth's entire fresh water volume, but lacks the capacity of a reliable application. 75% of Earth's entire fresh water. So, I wonder if they're talking about snow like right now. If you thought about that, let's think about that. So in the wintertime, in our wintertime, in the northern hemisphere's wintertime, fresh water is captured in snow. So like right now, I've got galleons. My daggone earpiece. I have gallons of fresh water strung out all over my yard. And that's what they're saying, is snow and ice accounts for around 75% of Earth's entire fresh water volume, but lacks the capacity of reliable applications. I don't see that. I could go outside, and except for the dust or pollen particles and any other animal droppings or bird feathers or whatever might be in it, I could go out there, I could scoop me up a big old glass of solid fresh water, sit it in my kitchen, and let it revert back to water. And then I could drink it. I could use snow for drinking water, right? I could use snow to make spaghetti if I wanted to. But it's trapped in my yard right now. It's trapped in everybody's yard. It's trapped in Clell's yard. It might be trapped in Robert's yard. All this fresh water. Now, does that deplete the water in the underground water, the ground level water? It has to. Where does the fresh water come from? Is it depleting the water out of the South Holston Lake, out of the rivers and the streams? Well, sure it is. So usually the weather recycles the water. And that's right now it's recycling it. That's true in my mind, but it's taken a lot longer than it would be if this were rain. It was raining, it would, saturate the ground, seep back into the ground, get back into the groundwater, get back into the streams and the rivers, and it would start that process all over. But right now, wintertime, old man winter, Jack Frost has got a whole bunch of fresh water tied up in my yard. And it can't go, it's not seeping back into the ground. It's not really going back into the streams and the waters. So technically, right now, the freshwater reserves in this area where I'm at are depleted. Not depleted, they're reduced because there's less water in the streams or less groundwater because it's all sitting on top of the ground. It's not going anywhere. So over the entire United States, northern hemisphere, when it's wintertime and it snows, how much water do you think that actually takes from groundwater, from rivers, from lakes, and all that stuff? Now, in the springtime, it gives it all back, hence the TVA. But it traps it, keeps it out of circulation. You can't use it. You're not pumping it out of your well because it's sitting on top of the ground. It's caught on the mountaintops and the ski slopes and all that kind of stuff. So just think about all that fresh water. That's not taken into account, the stuff that is frozen, like in North and South Poles and Antarctica, that it's not being recycled. So in wintertime, it's got a lot of fresh water tied up. Just think of it if it never snowed, it always rained. Think of all that, because somewhere, it's snowing almost all the time. If we're not in the summertime, or in wintertime, somebody else is in wintertime, but they don't have our water. Interesting. In my mind, it might not be interesting to you. Phil's probably falling asleep, going to get a snack or a sandwich or potty. Well, here's your picture. Come on, focus up. There he is. Can you see that on the bottom of the screen? You can't see that on the bottom of the screen, can you? I wish I could move that up. That's the reason I went to full screen. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit. 67, 50%. Well, it doesn't want to do that. Can I zoom in? That's 100%. Ah, what? Oh, dude. When I said exit, I just meant the little screen, not the whole stupid thing, dude. Oh, all right. So here's something. Anyway, that guy that had a picture, he said the caption of the picture was he was retrieving a snow core sample from the National Snow Reporium or Emporium or whatever warehouse where they store all these snow things. You imagine how cold it is in there? They drill all these things and slide them in there and keep them. So here's something I restarted that. Yeah, you can't stop me from trapping the yard. I didn't do it, really. Mother Nature. I'm just holding it for Mother Nature right now. So she can have it back whenever she wants it, but she gave it to me, and so I'm going to hold on to it for her. So it's not illegal. What do you mean you can't catch? Is that rain, my little? You can't catch it in a barrel legally. What do you mean you can't catch it in a barrel legally? So trapping water in your yard legal. You can't catch it in a barrel legally. If I catch rainwater in my barrel, that's not illegal, is it? Let's block all that. Well, I wanted to see the wet snow accumulating an additional 1 to 3 inches. Travel was extremely difficult and dangerous. When was that? Really feels like 19. Why do they keep popping pictures of people's feet and their zits and stuff all over my camera, all over my screen? Is this not? This is AccuWeather, people. Are you kidding me? This got to be a fake AccuWeather website. Can't catch rainwater in a barrel. Illegal, they say. Oh, come on now. Is catching rainwater in a barrel illegal? Clell says it is. Rainwater harvesting laws you need to know about 2023. I can see the topic for the next show coming up. Many homeowners have begun harvesting rainwater to reduce their household water use. This practice is often considered one of the components of off-grid water systems. It reduces your water bill while conserving local water resources and helping recharge underground. Blah, 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 blah. Rainwater harvesting, sometimes catchment, is the process of catching precipitation and storing it for later use. Blah, 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 blah. paying fees. See, it's all about the fees. Permit requirements, water rights, water quality, tax incentives, use restrictions. Now, see, I could almost see so if you had a cistern, I had a house that had a cistern back in the day, that's what that was. But I don't see, I could see where the health department would kind of, and the health department is about, you know, smarter people protecting us dumb people from ourselves. That's what that's basically how the government was formed, right? To say you dumb people need us smart people to restrict your activities so you don't kill yourself. But anyway, I could see that if you stored water in a cistern, and the ones that I know about were just a lot of times, if you're lucky, it was cinder block and it capped, with cinder block or concrete pad or something like that. And you just rainwater went in and other water came out. So I could see where you would want to treat that water or boil that water or make sure there was no microorganisms in that water. And that, I could see where you would want to regulate that because people are going to do what they need to do and throw caution to the wind about some of that stuff. So when the rainwater comes in there, if it doesn't rain, a lot, then that water, stagnates just like, pond water would stagnate. With no fresh water coming in and water going out and aerating it and keeping down the stuff. So in a way, I could kind of see them, hey, if you're going to collect rainwater, don't use it to drink. Unless it's an emergency situation, then you should boil it first, treat it, and then drink it. But, I know people when I was a kid, they had cisterns, but they didn't do any of that water except drink it. And if you think about it, you don't process well water. Now, it's underground. I don't think it's subject to the same kind of contamination as like in a cistern, right? But who knows? Who knows what goes on under the ground? All that groundwater may run into a cave under the ground there, and it just be a huge, huge lake. And that's groundwater. I don't. But never heard such. To me, let's look. Use a tool below to determine your state's governance on residential rainwater collection. I don't know. Tennessee ain't even in there. You damn right they're not. I didn't see them. Alabama, no regulation. Water collection is considered a private property right with no regulations. Alaska is unregulated. Arizona is unregulated. So stay out of Arkansas. California. Do they even have rainwater in California? I don't think so. I don't think they have rain out there. All right. So is man-made snow real snow? Artificial snow is not really snow. Snow-making machines actually make tiny beads of ice, each one about 1/10,000th of an inch in diameter. Water is sprayed from a hose together with compressed air, and it freezes as it comes out. Or there's a different Different process. I say the water freezes. What? Well, I know it freezes. Let me read it. I can find out what I read before I sound dumber than I am. Snowmaking actually timed to be each one about once. Water is sprayed from a hose together with compressed air. The air is needed because as it quickly expands, its temperature drops since it has work to do by pushing away air molecules. This cooling helps freeze the water. As the water freezes, it releases heat. This should be obvious when we realize that in order to melt ice, we have to add heat. The heat released is then taken up by the expanding compressed air. This is why the snowmaking pipes are always high in the air. If the snow were made close to the ground, the heat released by the freezing process would actually warm up the ground and melt some of the snow. I don't know. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It says it's the same principle as used by farmers who spray their crops with water when a freeze is in the forecast. It is a common misconception that the thin layer of ice produced acts as insulation. Not so. The freezing water liberates enough heat to keep the water inside the fruit from freezing. And why does skiing on artificial snow feel different? When skiing, pressure causes the snow to melt, increasing slipperiness. But the contact surface is not the same for real snowflakes and artificial ice beads, and their temperature can also be different. So the rate at which they melt under pressure can be different. Expert skiers will notice a difference, but those with marginal talents will only notice that it hurts more to fall on artificial stuff. Yep. When I used to go skiing a lot, we always went at night because it was cheap. And they would always make snow at night because it's colder. And so when they were blowing snow or making snow, you tried to stay away from the snow cannons as much as possible because, I mean, even though it's ice crystals, it would freeze to you. So if you went skiing down through there and ran through one of the big rainbows of it, sometimes you couldn't help it. You would just be covered in snow or ice crystals. They'd get on your goggles and everything. I mean, it was, you know, pretty annoying if you had to go through it, or they were aiming them kind of low, or you were going through a spot where they had two or three they were trying to fill in, a bare spot or make it deeper or something like that. Yeah, it was a pain in the butt. But I skied mostly on uh, artificial snow because you get, like right now, I would say that Sugar Mountain, Beach Mountain, all those North Carolina ski resorts are not only they're probably getting real snow, which they love, but I guarantee you they are pumping as much man-made snow into the real stuff as they can, just because they've got to get a really good base in there, and the temperature's perfect probably for making snow. So let's just say they may end up getting, let's say they get 4, 5, 6 inches of real snow. They want to double that at least, probably, right? So they're going to mix in man-made snow with that. But they got to make a living. And, it's not, temperature and conditions have to be right to even make man-made snow. So snow is formed around pollen or dust crystals from the sky. And you know what I like about it? Is it makes things quiet. And it's really kind of weird. I don't know. I guess it's the acoustics. That the snow is like a blanket, and it probably deadens, the echoes and the sound travel and all that kind of stuff. But it just, after a big old heavy snow, Yeah, it's kind of eerie. You can go out and things are just really kind of quiet, you know? That's the way it always seemed to me. When I was a kid and you'd go out at night and you'd go sleigh riding and you just stop and listen, it's like nothing. Nothing's going on. So that's the way I always remembered it. And that's why I like about 3 or 4 good snows a year, and then I'm done. You know, because you get, it is a hassle. It's a pain. They salt the roads, and that crap gets all over your car. Yeah, if it's a heavy snow, the branches are breaking off, and you hear every once in a while pops and cracks where dead or semi-dead branches are getting lots of buildup on their. And you wouldn't think that it would be a lot, but that wet snow is heavy. I had to go out and my chicken cover the top of her run with deer netting because it's cheap. It's really light. But when the snow comes and it lays on it, and then it's amazing how thick it can get. And the squares on that aren't very big. If you've ever seen deer netting, they're like, I don't know, maybe a ½ inch square. And when it starts to build up on the nylon, the very thin nylon, it's just, it piles up and then it starts to touch. And the next thing you know, there's no more square. So then more snow lays on top of the fact there's no square and it's not falling through. And I put up fence posts in the middle to try to keep that, because what's going to happen, I know it's not going to help. It's going to weigh down the nylon, which is then's going to pull in her chicken fence. And I go out there tomorrow morning to try to let her out, and she won't have a run because the snow would have grouped in all my netting and pulled the fences in on the sides, and there's probably not going to be any run. I'll be out at whatever time in the morning to let her out, and I'll be cleaning up her fence so she can get out there and at least get something to eat. Because her coop isn't big enough for me to feed her in her coop. Yeah, it might be. I mean, she might stay in there. I might have to do that. Anyway, snow. Snow is your friend. It collects in your yard to bring you fresh water. And they say now I don't know, right now might not be a good time. I've never tried this. But they say if you want to reseed your yard or have a patch where you want to try to grow grass, after a snow, that's the best time to go out and put your seed down. All right. For one thing, you're going to be able to tell exactly where you put the seed. All right. I know for me, that's a problem. You're pushing that little thing, or if you've got a broadcaster, it overlaps real heavy in certain areas because you can't really tell. And you want a little bit of overlap, but if it snows, you're putting out seed, you can see you're pushing one of those things, you can see the tire tracks. And if you're broadcasting it, you can see where the seed's laying on top of the snow, so you know where the bare spots are. Then they say, once that's done, and you've got it evenly covered, when the snow melts, it just takes the seed into the ground, because the ground's going to be saturated with water. When it starts to melt, it's going to saturate. Then if it freezes again, if you've ever noticed, when a wet ground freezes, it opens up. I mean, it actually, cracks apart. So then that'll give an opportunity for the grass seed. That's what we're planting, grass seed, get down in there. And then when the snow's completely melted, it's got down into the soil, the grass seed's fully wet, and it's ready to germinate until it snows again. Then when it snows again, more water carries it further into the soil. Try it. I don't know. Find somebody, go out, throw a bunch of grass seed, see if you can make grass grow. Anyway, been 50 minutes. Not too heavy science. No, we just skim, like a lot of things, we just skim over the top of stuff. Give you food for thought. If you're more interested, go spend your own time digging it up. Stop wasting my time. Go figure it out for yourself. I don't know everything. So anyway, if you made it through to the end, I appreciate it. Clell, I appreciate you coming, as always. And like, subscribe, leave a comment. I actually got a comment the other day from a guy was telling me, you could read it on YouTube. He explained about how they make the covering for those really, really light inside rubber banded airplanes, engine powered, rubber band engine powered, whatever you want to call them. And I said, hey, thanks, man. What you ought to do is get on my show and explain this to everybody. And he hasn't responded back. Maybe we'll get somebody on the show to talk about that, because I find that very interesting. But anyway, I appreciate it, and maybe next week we'll talk about Thursday. Maybe we'll talk about stealing other people's water. Clay, I want my water back. I know it's in your yard, dude. I know it's there. I want it. I got water here in my yard that's missing. So I want you to bring me some. All right. Everybody have a good one. Be safe if you go out. Take some kind of warming something with you in case you get stuck. Blankets, hot toddies, I don't know, hot blonde. Take something with you, keep you warm in case you get pushed off the side of the road and you have to wait for a tow truck to come. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. See you next time.